KD Live.
What's up, family? We're on the late show tonight. Check this out. If it's your first time checking out the show, let me know what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you represent. Throw up your flag. Family, I need you to smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. Also, if you have not done so already on YouTube, after you subscribe, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you'll be in the loop. I'll let a few hundred of y'all come in, then I'm going in. But in the meantime and in between time, I'm going to give some shouts out to the early birds, starting with Dun, Dun, Dun. Patrick Millen. You already know. Life with Attic. Sup, Sean Lunatic. Jessica Olson. What's up, V. Smith? D. Hemphill. Quaddy Mack. Quaddy Mack said Bill Belichick is worse. Marcus Payne. Marquise Payne, my bad. Sean Lunatic. Sean Lunatic say smash up the likes. Mike Dan. Hey, fam, I'm going to get into it. I'm going to go ahead and get it. Now, I know this is a late shift, right? We're on the late shift. But you know how sometimes you be minding your own business and a thought comes across your mind and you just got to share it with somebody? This is one of those times. So, fam, I actually came across an old story of Hugh Hefner. And it was talking about how he was running through these twins. And these twins was talking about how when they were 19 years old, Hugh Hefner gave them some leg spreader drugs. Leg spreader drugs, right? And man, don't you know? The reaction was totally opposite of the reaction that Shannon Sharp gets for messing with a 19-year-old girl. Hugh Hefner had two. They were twins. He was hitting both of them, knocking both of them down. Twins. Didn't nobody say nothing. Well, they said something, but it was more like, way to go, Hugh. Way to go, Hugh. Way to go. Man, look at that guy. Boy, that guy has it made. Wow, this guy's living the life. This guy's 175 years old and he's messing with 19-year-olds. Ooh, what a life. They showed love. But now, Shannon gets caught up in this situation where he was dating a 19-year-old and he's a villain. He's a villain. That's all everybody keep talking about. He's 56 years old. She's 19. She old enough to be his granddaughter. He got kids her age. Where was that energy for Hugh Hefner? I get it, fam. You don't like it. I get it. It makes you upset. It just chaps your hide. But if Hugh Hefner messing with those two twins, if you happen to messing with those twins, didn't chap your hide, didn't run your hot, you have no credibility. Hugh Hefner did way worse. He didn't just date twins. Allegedly, he groomed them. And not just them. He was grooming girls as early as 11 years old. Nobody said anything. Yeah. I got a theory behind this, fam. Obviously, Hugh Hefner his biggest advantage was that he's a white guy in a white country, white America. So, and he's, a white man is the most protected person in the United States. So obviously you have that component. But I got something else, fam. I got something heavier than that. Because that's what everybody reach for. I like to try to think, get on outside that box a little bit. You know. I suspect that the reason people treat Shannon Sharpe differently, well, there's several reasons. Okay, one, let's get it on out of the way. Hugh Hefner's white. And white guys, they catch, they catch breaks around here. Okay, so let's get that out of the way. Now that that is out of the way, let me do a little bit of critical thinking here. It is my belief that Hugh Hefner gets a pass, other than being white. Hugh Hefner got a pass because Hugh Hefner, his actions of being a ladies' man were normalized by society for decades, especially in the context of Playboy and that brand, which marketed sex and youthfulness. Hugh Hefner's lifestyle was framed as an expression of wealth and power. So it often was romanticized. People were more likely to overlook the problematic aspects because they saw it as part of his persona. They saw it as part of his persona rather than questioning the ethics of it. They saw it as part of his persona rather than questioning the ethics of it. Now, you got Shannon on the other end. He doesn't get the same pass, number one, because he's black. And because, he just didn't, he wasn't shielded by that kind of brand power like Hugh Hefner was. He's also in a different context, sports and media, which traditionally doesn't have the same room for certain behaviors, especially when it comes to public scrutiny. The rules tend to be stricter, and any perceived misstep or controversy is heavily magnified. Plus, a society is evolving in the standards around relationships, right? These type of relationships. So Shannon gets criticized because people are less forgiving and hold him to a higher standard. So, the double standard is clear. Wealth, fame, and branding. Yeah. So it's not just one thing. And, skin color, of course, right? Always skin color in America. So it's not just one thing. But don't get me wrong. There's absolutely no way possible Hugh Hefner would have been able to get away with 1% of the stuff he did if he was black. Ain't no way possible. So it's like, regardless of whether people are behaving in similar ways, that wealth that fame, that branding, that skin color, all of those things can make people look at you differently and judge you differently, no matter what your age is. Hugh Hefner. Let me tell you how cold blooded the skin color thing is for all of the people always. "Well, he's always talking about race. He's a race baiter. He's a race baiter." Shut your up. You're not gonna get me off my game. You're not gonna be able to try to shame me into silence. It don't work over here. That don't work. There is absolutely no way possible in America would the authorities had allowed a black man to have a book, a magazine out that depicted butt naked women and then try to legitimize it by having articles about politics and social issues. It wouldn't have flew. They would have shut that down day one. It would have never became what it was. Also, it was hard to take down Hugh Hefner because Hugh had cameras everywhere. I'm pretty sure somebody got possession of some video footage right now of mayors, chief of police, deputies, school teachers, superintendents, politicians, all the way from city council members to presidents. Many of them visited the White House. Visited. They was visiting. Playboy Mansion more frequently than the White House. In fact, most of them would have rather went to the Playboy Mansion, a party at the Playboy Mansion, over going by the White House and shaking hands with the president. Oh yeah, most of them would have chosen to go to the Playboy Mansion. I would have been one. I would have chose. Yeah, let me go see what this Playboy Mansion thing is all about. I wouldn't go now, but when I was younger, I would have went. Let me go see what it's about. You know, they romanticized it. They made it seem like it was nothing at all wrong with it. Like, hey man, you're a man. You got money. You got a reputation. You got power. You're supposed to be with as many women as will allow you to be with them. Even now, most dudes operate like that. They're gonna try to be as many women as their money, their pocketbooks will allow them to accommodate. Now, having said that, most dudes get older and they start switching it up. They understand that the downfall of too many men is the upkeep of too many women. Once they figure that part out, it's going to be hard to trick them. When that article came out about Hugh Hefner and these two girls that you see right now on the screen, they were 19 years old when they were messing with Hugh Hefner. May have been younger when they met him. Carissa and Christina was their names. Well, is their names. And they claimed they were abused by Hugh Hefner. But guess what happened? Nothing. They say Hugh Hefner had a black soul when it comes to the bedroom, and the experience left them suffering from PTSD. They say that they were depressed and needed counseling. The women say Hugh Hefner gave them Quaaludes, a sedative known for its hypnotic qualities. They also said Hugh Hefner gave them some leg spreader drugs. They say Hugh Hefner used Quaaludes all the time. Carissa said she fell pregnant at 19 to Hugh Hefner when he was 83. She said it felt like carrying the devil's child. She had an abortion without Hugh ever knowing. Christina says Hugh Hefner acted like he owned you. She said if we broke his rules, 6 guards would drag us to our room and not let us leave. Hugh Hefner called it HMH arrest. That's after his initials. And he preyed on vulnerable young girls like them. The women said that he would offer you the world, then keep you trapped in his house, which was like a golden prison. When Hugh Hefner died, she said part of us did feel sad, but another part was like, okay, good. No more girls are going to be groomed and ruined like we were. She said, I thought big Playboy was one big family. Now I can see it was a cult. The twins are now 34, 35 years old. And they're planning to sue Playboy for emotional distress and trauma. Check this out, family. The girls say that those sisters, the twins that you see on the screen, they said Hugh Hefner told them to call him Papa and that he groomed them, drawing parallels with other powerful tycoons like Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein. Carissa and Christina, who spent 2 years at the Playboy Mansion, believed in starry-eyed innocence. I remember when this story first came out, people were calling twins hookers. They was talking about how they would spread their legs for drugs, also known as dollar bills. Somebody else said that they honestly believed that they were going to his house for a cup of tea. Then another person said they spread their legs willingly. It was all caught on camera. And then somebody else said they looked like as though they would spread their legs for anyone without the use of drugs. Y'all see how opposite the comments be? And I'm talking about they pile it on one way. One angle. That's all you're going to get. One side. So, can y'all give me y'all best guess on what y'all think? Hugh Hefner gets a pass? Hugh Hefner was 83 years old with not one but two 19-year-olds, and nobody said nothing. Shannon had one 19-year-old, and it looks like it's costing him everything. That's my time, fam. I appreciate y'all joining live. Let's keep the chat going. I'm finna jump in the chat in a minute as soon as I shut this live down. Till next time, enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. No more talk.